county, interim county managers like Commissioner Sanders, we got to make sure those shuttles are moving. So we got to make sure that the kids have a lot to do. I said, don't worry about it. You know I'm going to make sure that. So I took the initiative to get trips for them, free trips. They don't have to pay out their pocket, to the Presidential Museum, to the Farm Bank, to the Martin Luther King Bank, to go to a camp for free for farming and literacy, to do various things that were all free, to have a trip to the state capitol that was going to be put on with that was in conjunction with state reps. And the agricultural literacy camp was a pilot camp through the state with another state rep who was setting aside seats for residents of Newton County. Then there was an event with the NFL player who has a nonprofit who was setting aside seats for the children in Newton County to come to his golf tournament, where he's going to be giving out laptops, tablets, and a whole lot of school supplies and seats. At least 20 seats were set aside because we could put 30 seats, 15 on each shuttle, and they were going to be set aside for Newton citizens, for Newton County youth. I was told by our county manager that he could not find 2 people to drive those shuttles. Now, I held on to this, and I wasn't going to call him out because I said, okay, I'm not going to do it. But this is business. It's not personal. I had to cancel all the trips for the youth and tell the parents and tell the kids that we're not going on any trip this summer because our county manager couldn't find 2 people to drive 2 shuttles out of the entire staff. When we've had people drive us in parades that were on Saturdays, more than one parade. So the residents asked me, so did he only ask these 2 certain people? Who else he asked? Y'all have almost 800 employees in the county. We have a whole entire roads department that has driven for us in various occasions. And then I got the other question asked by another resident. About 2 or 3 residents asked me, did he ask the sheriff department? Because he has deputies. Because finding out the sheriff department drove for Washington Street and some various other youth programs for the entire summer. So I called the sheriff myself. Mind you, I sent a letter and text. I can show you the text, the county manager, and said, can you answer my email on who you actually asked to drive these shuttles? I said even residents asked could they drive them. So what are you suggesting on the type of people who could drive these shuttles? I said, did you reach out to the sheriff department? Because that would be great for us to have a sheriff deputy and security. Do you understand the magnitude of having a deputy, 2 deputies drive our vehicles? That is safety, instant safety. The sheriff didn't even ask for funding. The statement he made tonight was, well, I didn't know the logistics. I didn't know if there was going to be funding. You didn't ask me. You didn't ask. Nor did you contact the sheriff. I still have an email from June, where I said, Mr. County Manager, the sheriff agreed to give 2 of his outreach deputies who work with the outreach programs, and they even called me and said, we're waiting on you, Commissioner Sanders, to hear back from the county manager. I said, do you approve for these 2 individuals to drive so these kids can go on their trips? To this day, that email was sent in June, and we're almost in August. It was sent in the early part of June. I still have not this day received a response. I have been patient. I called him out today because I have been patient for over a month, and I sent multiple emails asking for him to respond to a commissioner for trips for the youth to go on. I had to cancel those trips. I had to call those people and say, my apologies. My county manager said he couldn't find 2 people to drive the shuttles. That is ludicrous. Do you know how crazy that sounds? Out of almost 800 people, you couldn't find 2 people to drive shuttles to take our youth on educational trips that was going to take them out of their environment to where they can learn over the summer. So the problem is, you think it's about me. I've been on these trips before. I can afford, and thank God I can, to pay the admission to take my child on these trips. That's why you see me fighting for other youth in this community, but you're making it personal, Mr. County Manager. You're making it personal to where you can even respond. I have a list of emails that he refuses to respond to. And the answer tonight was, I'm a functional county manager and I'm out and about. Well, if you're a functional county manager, when you over operations and something happens to occur and you don't have your devices with you, then how do you get in touch with the people? See, I didn't go back and forth with that. That question was in my mind tonight. I said, nah, Commissioner Sanders, just let it roll. But if you are I wouldn't be having people saying that you're not returning their calls. You're not. I have so many emails from people that I've been calling. He's not returning my calls. This is not just me coming at you. This is the residents. So we are the front line to the residents. We are the front line to the residents. So when they feel like they're being ignored, guess what? It becomes our problem. It becomes that commissioner's problem. It becomes the board problem. We are put in place to serve the people. I don't care what you feel about me or what you think about me. I can care less. But we still have to do our job. I still have to do my job. I don't care if you don't like me at all. But we still have to work together to do our job. And if another commissioner is complaining because they wasn't a part of selecting the trips, because that was one of the things that was mentioned to me, tell that commissioner to get out there behind and schedule these trips for their kids. Don't get mad at the commissioner that put work and did stuff. You can do the exact same thing I'm doing. Do you see me complaining about various things going in your community? Do you see me saying, oh, they doing this and that in the community? They should be doing that because I can't do it. No. More power to you that you're doing something for your constituents, but don't come at a commissioner who's doing something for the people, doing something for their youth, doing something for the community because you mad you're not a part of it. Get up off your hiney and create these different things for your community, and you won't have to worry about what another commissioner is doing that you're not doing. That is a problem I have with people who don't do, but want to take away from the people who are doing. The people who have ideas and want to help a community because you're not doing it, you want to take away from the people who are doing it. You're not hurting me. You're hurting the people in the county, and they are watching and seeing how you operate. Whether you think so or not, they are watching and seeing how you operate. So if you keep coming for me, as I said tonight, keep coming for me. All you're going to do is make me fight harder. And all it is doing is making the people see how dysfunctional this board is and how personal vendettas are controlling this county. And it's ridiculous when we should first think about the people in this community and think about the resources. Some of those grants that were mentioned tonight from our consultant, that came from organizations I'm a part of, like Local Progress, that I presented to the board, that $1 billion grant, what she mentioned about the sidewalks. Our county didn't even know nothing about it. I presented that to the consultant and the board to get sidewalk money so we could put sidewalks in the most dense area. And then a commissioner comes and says, we need to have this for the whole community. And I said, well, is your community lacking sidewalks? Did your constituents say you needed sidewalks? Did your constituents have a problem with transportation in your area? No, but the most dense area in that square by Salem Road, by Quarl Road and Brown Bridge, and that box and square is having issues because you have kids walking in the street. We've had kids get hit by cars trying to walk to school because we have no sidewalks. So my thought process was, let's have a solution for the problem, and let me go find the money. The same thing I did with that $4 million grant. Let me go find the money. So they're complaining about it. I got up off of my behind and tried to find a solution to the problem. That's what being a public servant is. That's what part of being an elected official is. Because we're supposed to be here to serve the community and find those solutions on how we're going to make it better. That's why they voted us in. Aha! That's why they voted us in. To make sure we provide for the community. This is sad. It's a sad day. Sad day in Newton County where you have people who are upset because one commissioner is doing something and I guess they feel they're not getting the recognition for it. Then you want to downplay what that commissioner did. Then you want to try to take the idea after all the work has been done from that commissioner, their idea and thought, and you don't want to give them credit for doing it because you feel like that they're going to get the clout and the shine. That's ridiculous. And that's a therapy problem. That's not my problem. If you have an issue with some person because they are doing, we have insurance. We get free therapy. You need to talk to a therapist about that. That's a problem. That's not my personal problem to figure out why you don't like me. That's not something I should take on. Your issue is to find out why I don't like this person and why is this person doing various things that I really want to do. That you can do. God gave us all gifts and talents. We need to utilize them. Put in the work. And when you put in the work, guess what? Great and wonderful things happen. But don't stop the people who are doing because it makes you have to work harder. You guys have a great day and you shall be blessed. Good night, everyone.